showtime!
What's up, world? It's your boss, International Zoe. This is part 2 of travel fatigue. And the reason why I want to do a part 2 is because I kind of got sidetracked once I mentioned the female aspect of it. And, it made me seem like some people asked, is it women fatigue or travel? No, it's travel fatigue for sure. It's not about the women, but the women is one aspect of it. So before I get into some of the other parts of it, I want to address the woman part of it, and it leads into the other part of it. Like I said, I'm not looking for a wife because I've been married already, and I was in a relationship for a very long time. And I'm not looking for a girlfriend because my goal is to see as many countries as I can while, revisiting some of my favorites. And I know I'm not going to probably see every country in the world, but, I want to get it up to maybe like 75 to 100. So I know that with that journey, if you try and make some form of commitment with a female, that you're not going to be able to hold your side of the commitment, 1, and 2, I don't want to fall into the issue of when you're in a relationship, one of the most important things about being in a relationship is time. So I don't want to get myself caught up in having someone saying, "Oh, where are you? I haven't seen you. I miss you." So, I know it's a double-edged sword. And the other reason why I mentioned going on dates, using social media to meet women, is because when I arrive in a new country, of course I try to meet people, what they call it, pre-gaming. I try to meet people before I get there. The reason why I use the social media apps, because there's not an app really for bros. There's not a buddy app where you go into a new country and you trying to link up with other men from those countries to show you around and show you their country and show you their city. When there's another content creator in those countries, I'll usually reach out to them if I feel like we might connect. I'll reach out to them, I'll hang out with them. If there's another expat that I might know from another country, if they're there, I'll hook up with them, hang out with them. But usually I'm on these apps to meet women because it's easier to use the apps for women. Nobody uses the apps to meet other guys. You have your Tinder, your Bumble, and whatever other apps, depending on the country. You'll use that to meet with some women, and those women in turn sometimes show me around, tell me some things I should check out, gives me someone that I can hang out with, even if it's going on a date or, of course I'm looking for attractive women or women that I'm attracted to, because let's be honest, there's girls on Instagram and everything milking cows and stuff like that because they're pretty, or they're going out pulling fruit and groceries. Because they're pretty, they get 100,000 millions of views. So let's be honest, if I can add a beautiful woman to my segment in another country, it's going to help you guys watch. It's just what it is. So, why fight? Give the people what they want. Any content creator with a beautiful girl on the thumbnail or a beautiful girl in the video is going to get more views. It's just what it is. So, of course, I'm trying to meet women to, one, show me around. It's easier to meet women. It's easier to go on a date with a woman or have a woman accompany you to maybe some of the things. So that's that. I hope that answers that question when it comes in regards to women. People saying you need to stay longer, I'm not really looking for a relationship, so my plan is not to stay in a place longer so I can get in a good relationship. I was just bringing up the fact that these are some of the challenges when you're traveling around the world or expatting when it comes to women. These are some of the challenges. It's not, some of them you're not gonna connect with some of them. They're not gonna show up looking like how they look in the pictures and so on and so forth. The other thing that would help with travel fatigue, if you did have a buddy to travel, which I know at certain times I traveled, I did a Eurostep, a ABC Island tour. I did it with my boy Travel Will, because you got two brains working. You got somebody to hang out with. You got somebody to go to some of these places that might be sketchy, or to push you to go further. You got somebody to talk to. So it's less parts of loneliness and this and that. Usually when I don't travel like most guys travel. I literally, when I'm go to a new country, if y'all watch my videos, y'all know I cover tourist attractions and monuments and UNESCO World Heritage sites and stuff like that. So anytime you see me go to a new country, I'm doing all of those things. And let's be honest, when I search to do those things, I mostly search and I find YouTubers that don't look like me with that information. There's not many YouTubers that look like me who actually, when they go to a country, go to all the tourist attractions and things like that. There's not a lot. I'm not saying there's no, but I'm saying I'm one of the few. Some guys go, their thing is finding the black people. Some people's thing is going to the worst neighborhoods. And, some people's thing is just girls, or just the nightlife, or just the red light areas. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I give a good mix of all these things. And within doing that, it's a lot to always be going on the tours. I'm by myself a lot. I'm usually adding another country where there's not a lot of expats, or I don't know of a lot of expats. There may be not a lot of people who look like me there, Black American per se. So that's another part of, you have to do your research. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do research. You got your flights, you got your Airbnbs or hotels. You have the nervousness of arriving in a new country by yourself. You're hoping you made the right choices in lodging. The tours are, you know what you want to do. I try to cover as many of the things that I would like to see, on top of, maybe not wasting my time with some of the things. I might have a list and I don't get to do everything. Now I have a list of restaurants I want to check out. So you're doing all of this by yourself. You're doing the research by yourself. You have to be comfortable with being alone and sometimes being lonely. This is all part of it. And I make these other videos, contradictory to what you might see from others, because I want to show y'all the whole scope. Someone also mentioned a glamorous life. Traveling around the world, I don't know where you got that glamorous life. There's nothing glamorous about traveling around the world. It's a choice. It's a passion. It's things like that. It's not trying to flex on nobody and you lead in this great life. I travel around the world because it interests me, because I want to see as much as, the world has to offer that interests me, So yes, there is a hunger for that. And that's why I could never be traveling for women, because that's not my hunger. You can find beautiful women mostly anywhere, but there are places where it's not known for pretty women, or not known for you to that you're going to meet women. I didn't go to Angkor Wat in Cambodia to meet women. I didn't go to Machu Picchu to meet women. You know what I'm saying? If all I want to do is meet women, I would definitely knock off all those tourist attractions and other things that I do off my list. You know what I'm saying? Because that usually has nothing to do with women. If there are women who are on the tour, they usually with a group of girls, or they're with their boyfriend or with their family. And I'm usually the only black guy on the tour almost everywhere I go. So it's definitely not that. I'm just saying, when I say travel fatigue, I'm just being honest. I'm not necessarily complaining, and I just don't want people to get it misconstrued that traveling around the world is just this great thing. Yes, I'm honored and fortunate to be able to have done it thus far, but I just don't want people to get it confused in their mind that it's it's a showcase. It's just showing off that you living this great life. It's not about it being a greater glamorous life. It's about a passion. It's about a want. It's about a desire that someone may have to want to see the world, to want to travel around the world, to want to go to these countries that interest them, that want to see the culture, that want to learn some of the nuances that you would never know, you never would have an idea about if you don't actually go to those countries. And despite what social media or propaganda from the media has shown you, and like almost every country is not on a good watch list with America, that they would have you think, don't go to this country, or there's nothing to see in this country until you do your own research, until you get boots on the ground, until you meet people. There's so much more to see in Thailand that I'm learning and hearing about from Thai people, mostly Thai women, because that's who you're coming in contact with. And that's where the women play a part in the traveling. But it is still fatigue because, you're not always going to meet somebody that connects with you, that sees things how you see, that are genuine. Everybody might have a motive, so I'm just trying to lay it out to you guys on some of the things. So I would say, if you could get a buddy, a homeboy, a Brody to travel with, I think that would also take away some of the pressures of traveling alone and getting fatigued. Two brains is usually better than one. 4 eyes is better than 2, 4 ears is better than 2. So, and you could maybe share in some of the cost when you're traveling with someone. Traveling with someone could definitely cut down on it. Some of the fatigue is actually mental fatigue. It's not just physical fatigue. Changing time zones between trips also can, your body would have to adjust to that. Getting on and off planes, your body has to adjust to that. So yeah, getting up early and going out on tours and hanging out at night, trying to show the nightlife also plays a part. And you're not always being able to get your exercise in. You're not always able to eat properly everywhere you go. Sometimes that's a challenge, finding the right foods that you want to eat. And you're trying new restaurants. Some of them could be good. The food could be good. Sometimes the food could be bad. Even when you're doing your research, snacking in the airports is them lounges. Then you get on the plane and they throw you another meal, and you might have ate twice now just because so it's just a lot to it. And I just want to show y'all the other side of traveling around the world and, just doing this global gallivanting. I'm just trying to, show y'all a balance of what it is, not to mention the financial investment it takes. It's very expensive traveling around the world. Even when you try to cut back and use your miles and this, that, and the third, it's expensive. That is another thing where, how long can your pockets take it? Can you stay inside your budget? And can you recoup? And, for all of us, the YouTube payout is not that great, for most of us. So, it's serious, and not let alone the people who don't do YouTube and don't try to supplement any type of traveling with YouTube. So, yeah, just want to give y'all both sides of the story. I know it looks great, looks glamorous, but I'm to keep it real with y'all, you know what I mean? Some people say, oh, you need to stay home and regroup a little bit. Maybe you're right. And it's not so much about the euphoria you get for traveling that's not gone. Every time I go to a new place that I've never been, there's a new excitement. It's definitely, I definitely was excited when I went to Kenya, definitely was excited when I went to Peru. And sometimes, places that are a little lackluster, like, for instance, when I went to Singapore, it was okay. When I went to Malaysia, it was okay. Every place is not gonna, really give you that wow, and I would love to return type of impression on you. So Yeah, that's just basically what I want to say to add to my topic of travel fatigue. Sometimes I think of something and I just, most of the time I just freestyle. I don't do the numbers and do the research. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I just freestyle and talk, and sometimes the conversation leans over to one part and I don't address everything. So that's why it's kind of good to do, when I talk, to do these in parts so I can cover each thing. And sometimes when I look at the responses, it says, okay, I didn't cover that, so I need to go back and talk about these other things that it involves that I failed to mention in the first portion of the video. So I hope that just addresses a little more of where I'm coming from when I say travel fatigue. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that.
Are you not entertained?
Peace.
Are you not entertained?